congrats on Inheritance. I loved it.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And
Great.
I was reading about it, and I read your statement and all that, and it was cool learning
Nice.
more. And it's very cool how it was filmed on iPhones with a sort of covert guerrilla style.
Yeah.
So did that mean that there were no official permits and the usual things like that?
There weren't. Mostly, we sort of think of it as like that it had a stolen aesthetic, which is actually I always think is kind of nicely unified with Phoebe's character, who is a thief. She's got a problem with kleptomania. But really it was about access. We didn't shoot it on an iPhone for as a gimmick. We didn't shoot it, merely as a substitute for a motion picture camera. We got it. We did it so that we could walk through a crowded Cairo market and nobody would look at us. And I really wanted to kind of look at the world in this point of time, especially sort of post-COVID. Like, what was the new normal? What was it like in Egypt? What was it like in India? What was going on? And when you bring in a big film crew, they disrupt things and everybody ends up looking at them. And so I wanted to just be under the radar, and have it, have be able to see the world. And when you think about it, there's been other movies shot on iPhones, but we are very much the first one that is an international thriller, that goes around the world, that has a grand scope to it, with the excitement of an international thriller, even though it's shot on this more intimate device.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And well done. I mean, I love the end
Thank you.
result. And I was curious, just like in terms of technical, did you watch any of the other iPhone shot movies that have come out,
I
like
mean,
Soderbergh's or anything?
sure. And Soderbergh's a friend of mine, and I've seen them all.
Yeah.
Um, but what they are doing is sort of more contained. They're doing it in a more, they're like, oh, we can kind of do a stunt with, we can tape the iPhone to the wall or something like that. Whereas again, we were looking for access. We were trying to kind of be in places and not have, like, we shot on airplanes in flight, full dialogue scenes without permission, which there'd be no other way to do it except with, this iPhone pointed like this. And, the flight attendants think, oh, well, there's everybody's taking pictures of each other for social media and things like that. And that's what we appeared to be. But instead, we were also shooting this very, slick looking, beautiful, big movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the international scope. I had a similar feeling during COVID where, I was just like, I want to expand and do something that's not contained. So I commend you on that. That's
Yeah.
great. And I was reading about, the Phoebe incident where, with the liquor bottle and the cops approaching her, and even what she said, which felt like she was in a Borat movie or something. And I was
Yeah.
curious if you could talk a little bit more about that, and if that at all impacted the rest of your shoot, like that particular incident.
Well, the way we shot would be Phoebe and the cameraman. And he didn't have any stabilization on his phone or anything like that. He just handheld it. And so it just looked like a friend. And then I would be about 10 feet back with an iPad watching transmission so I could see what was going on. And then the sound man was about 25 feet back with the recorder in his bag. No boom mics, no lights. And then the AD was just somewhere else, and everybody else was around the corner. So, and I'd always told Phoebe, whatever happens, you stay in character. If somebody bumps into you, if somebody talks to you, asks you for directions, whatever it is, you stay in character. So she is playing a character that's in the beginning of the movie very self-destructive and troubled and lost, and she's drinking on the street, and kind of trying to obliterate herself. And we were on 8th Avenue, and she's doing that, and real people are walking by, and they're like giving her a wide berth because she seems like she's messed up. And suddenly I'm looking at my iPad, and I see the three biggest New York City police officers I've ever seen kind of coming in on her. And she, and they're like, what do you do? What do you think you're doing? And she, bless her heart, stayed in character as I'd asked her to. And she was like, what does it look like I'm doing? It looks like you're drinking. Yeah, I'm drinking tequila. Do you want some? And they're like, no. They're like, what are you drinking tequila for? And she's like, because I like tequila. She stayed in it. And like, they're like, I need to see some ID. She's like, I don't have any ID. And so then finally I stepped in and I was like, that's not a real bottle of tequila. And we're making a movie and she's an actress. And they were like, well, why didn't she just say so? And I'm like, because she's staying in character. And they're like, they gave us back the bottle and everything. So, it was great. And it was like, it didn't change what we did. It just, that's what we were doing. We were like pushing it right up to the edge. And, as I said, filming on airplanes and, we shot going through passport control and things like that, stealing these shots. And she's just like, she's in character. And in a way, this methodology, this sort of way of shooting, which was like, we didn't shoot like a normal conventional shooting. We didn't shoot like a wide shot and then an over the shoulder shot and then a close-up shot. We shot much more of these sort of flowing shots where we would not attract attention and we wouldn't have to do reverses and things like that. And that methodology changed the look of the movie. It has this caught live or this stolen feel of it or this you are there feel, but it also changed the way the actors acted. They were the hardest working people on the set. They had to be in character at all times because anything can happen anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's remarkable, and commend her. And yeah, that's great to hear. That's so interesting. I also wanted to ask. I saw that you're involved in that upcoming show, Motorheads with Ryan Felipe, which looks great. I've chatted with him. He's wonderful. I was curious if there's anything you could share about that. I know you directed some episodes.
I did. I directed the pilot and the second episode, and it's a kind of a lovely show about, you could say it's a cross between, the Fast and Furious and Friday Night Lights. It's about a town in Western Pennsylvania that's seen better days. But instead of football being the thing that centers the town, it is cars and car racing and car theft and souping up cars and things like that. So this car culture, and it's great. And what's particularly great about it, it's really well written by this guy Johnny Norris, but what's great about it is this young cast. You look at these people, who are all like 19 and 20, and you're like, is that Dustin Hoffman? Is that guy gonna be Dustin Hoffman? Is he gonna be like Tom Cruise? And there are people in there, they're so good and they're so young, yet so accomplished already. Anyway, so it's great. The other thing I'm working on is The Agency. That show? It's with,
yeah, I love it.
And I've done the season finale, the finale block. And my first episode, it's episode 9, comes out on this Friday. And then the finale comes out on the 24th, which is the day that the movie comes out. So I've got 2 spy shows on one day.
Yeah, I saw it's greenlit for a second season, which is very exciting.
It should be. Have you seen it at all? It's
really
good.
Oh yeah, I do. I love it.
I think. I like The Bureau too, but I think that this has like a different sort of. This is sort of more muscular and it's I really like it actually.
Yeah, and it's got some great story developments too. So you don't know anything about season 2, do you?
I know a little bit because I know the writers and I've talked to them about a little bit, but I don't, but I'm not at liberty to say anything.
Of course, you have to ask. Well, yes, but in the meantime, congratulations on Inheritance. Can't wait for everyone else to see it, and it's very nice to meet you.
Great meeting you. Thank you.